A new report from Punchbowl News states that Amazon is trying to avoid blame for raising prices due to President Trump's new tariffs. However, the issue with tariffs is clear, as they impact consumers and businesses alike. Many are facing significant challenges, including factory closures and rising unemployment. The situation is difficult, and there are concerns about the effects on China. Amazon's CEO has made the unprecedented decision to move the company's headquarters outside of the United States, signaling a major shift for both Amazon and the global business landscape. This decision comes after the administration's new tariffs, illustrating how vulnerable international trade can be when political agendas change abruptly. Amazon, once a symbol of innovation and growth in the Pacific Northwest, now faces uncertainty, as its future as a major employment and development hub is unclear. Employees, once proud of the company's rise, now face difficult choices, including the option to relocate or start fresh elsewhere. The decision extends far beyond the tech world, as governments and business partners across industries scramble to assess the consequences for their economies and strategies. Amazon's relocation is part of a larger trend of international companies re-evaluating their positions due to changing trade policies. At the heart of the move is the new aggressive trade policy of the current US administration. The tariffs, once applied sparingly, are now hitting a broad range of trading partners, and the strategy aims to boost domestic manufacturing. However, these tariffs have raised costs for foreign buyers and are reducing the global competitiveness of American products. As supply chains face pressure from new regulations, businesses worldwide are reconsidering whether sourcing from the US is still worthwhile. For Amazon, whose success relies heavily on efficient international logistics, these changes are a serious threat. The decision by the CEO to lead the relocation effort is a strong statement of frustration with the direction of US economic policy. While large corporations are used to navigating regulatory changes, the speed and scope of these new trade barriers have caught many off guard. Even a company as large as Amazon isn't immune to political instability. Moving operations abroad is a drastic measure, but for Amazon's leadership, it may be the only way to ensure the company continues to serve its global customers efficiently and competitively. The decision to choose a new headquarters wasn't made lightly. It involved evaluating factors like business-friendly tax policies, strong technological infrastructure, political stability, and proximity to key manufacturing centers. These factors were essential to maintaining smooth product flow from production to delivery. Additional considerations included access to skilled labor, top-tier educational institutions, and a high quality of life. The host country stands to gain from this move, as it will see the creation of thousands of high-skilled jobs, major infrastructure investments, and an economic boost. On the other hand, the city Amazon is leaving behind faces significant challenges. Small businesses that depended on Amazon employees are preparing for losses, and the real estate market, once driven by demand from high-paid tech workers, could decline. Local governments that relied on Amazon's tax contributions are bracing for budget deficits that could impact schools, public services, and infrastructure. On a national scale, the US is facing a difficult reality. The tariffs meant to protect American industries are now at odds with the realities of global commerce. As Amazon moves its future overseas, questions are arising about the long-term sustainability of a trade policy that prioritizes short-term political gains over long-term economic cooperation. Critics argue that the tariffs have caused more harm than good, straining relations with key allies and opening the door for rival economic powers to step in. From an international perspective, Amazon's relocation is a major victory for the host country, offering not only prestige but also significant economic benefits. Other multinational corporations are finding that operating outside the US has become a viable and perhaps even preferable option. Countries aiming to attract such investments are likely to increase efforts to provide appealing tax breaks, simplified regulations, and assurances of political and trade stability. In many ways, Amazon's decision could spark a new wave of global competition as countries compete to become the next hub for major corporate headquarters. Each nation will present its best mix of talent, infrastructure, and incentives in hopes of attracting the next big name. As Amazon begins the massive task of relocating its operations, its renowned logistics network will be put to the test. But one thing is clear, the global business world has entered a new chapter where even the largest corporations are willing to cross borders to safeguard their future. Amazon's famous fulfillment and distribution network, long admired for its speed and efficiency, is now undergoing a significant transformation. As the company moves its headquarters overseas, its logistics systems must adapt to new import and export routes. Warehouses will be repurposed, shipping routes restructured, and existing partnerships renegotiated. The announcement has sparked excitement and anticipation. New hires are joining training programs. Local suppliers are expanding their operations, and regional governments are offering support to Amazon's expansion. However, this transition must be managed with precision to avoid disruptions that could damage the company's reputation for reliability. Internally, Amazon is working thoughtfully to preserve its culture and values during this change. The company continues to operate under its well-known leadership principles, which guided it from its modest beginnings to becoming a trillion-dollar enterprise. Maintaining morale during such a monumental transformation is no small task. Through town halls, Q&A sessions, and personal outreach, Amazon is making efforts to keep employees informed and appreciated. At the same time, teams are encouraged to view the change as an opportunity for growth and innovation. Cross-cultural training initiatives are being introduced to foster understanding and cooperation among global teams. Remote work policies are also evolving, allowing some employees to remain based in the US. Meanwhile, the broader business world is closely watching Amazon's carefully coordinated relocation strategy. Suppliers across industries, from electronics to fashion, see the shift as both a challenge and an opportunity. Some will benefit from better access to emerging markets, while others will have to navigate logistical hurdles posed by disrupted, interconnected politics and commerce have become more prominent. This serves as a reminder that corporate strategies can be disrupted almost overnight by shifts in the political landscape. Around the world, boardrooms are taking notice, reassessing risk, updating contingency plans, and preparing for future regulatory changes. For policymakers, the message is clear. Building a competitive business environment requires consistency and a long-term vision, or they risk losing key drivers of economic growth. Amazon's expansion into a new country is expected to foster innovation. Freed from some cost burdens imposed by US tariffs, the company can invest in cutting-edge logistics technology, research, and partnerships that were previously hindered. The new headquarters is set to become a global innovation hub, attracting talent from around the world and encouraging collaboration across diverse teams. However, Amazon's relocation is far from complete. The process will unfold gradually over months and even years, as the company balances its obligations to current employees and customers with the need to build a sustainable future in its new location in Washington. The political consequences are already taking shape. Many view Amazon's move as a clear statement about the impact of recent domestic policies. Global trade alliances may shift in response as countries reposition themselves around the evolving role of American corporations. Ultimately, Amazon's decision marks a significant turning point for global supply chains. Companies that once depended on US-based distribution centers must now rethink their entire logistics strategies. The shift to fulfillment hubs in Europe, Asia, or other rapidly growing regions is more than just a change in shipping. It's a profound recalibration of how global business operates in a new economic era. Amazon's relocation demands a complete overhaul of its inventory management systems, demand forecasting models, and last-mile delivery networks. In response to the move, the company's software engineers and operations experts are working to refine the algorithms that support Amazon's efficient inventory systems. These updates must factor in longer shipping times, diverse regulatory requirements, and more complex cross-border logistics. Previously reliable models, based on the predictability of US domestic freight, must now accommodate a variety of customs, inspections, border checks, and shifting import duties from different countries. Meanwhile, Amazon's vast network of vendors is entering unfamiliar territory. Thousands of small and mid-sized businesses that once thrived in the simplicity of shipping within a single tariff-protected market are now facing more complex and layered cost structures. For manufacturers in Southeast Asia, it may now be more cost-effective to send products through Amazon's new logistics hubs overseas, rather than via US ports. This change is prompting a re-evaluation of global manufacturing strategies. Some suppliers are considering moving their operations closer to Amazon's new base, while others explore nearshoring options to shorten delivery times and reduce transportation costs. Supply chain finance must also evolve. Instruments like letters of credit and trade finance agreements will need to be adapted to fit different banking systems and adjusted for currency exchange and risk management. On the digital side, Amazon's data infrastructure is also being reimagined. While its cloud division has traditionally relied on large US-based data centers, it's now planning to expand into new regions. Establishing secure and high-capacity data centers near growing customer bases is crucial, not just for maintaining service speed, but also to comply with a variety of data sovereignty laws around the world. Data scientists and cybersecurity experts are working together to ensure customer data, including purchase histories and payment information, remains protected under complex international privacy regulations. This requires strong encryption, region-specific backup systems, and cross-border data transfer agreements that align with both internal policies and local laws. Amazon's retail partners are also at a turning point. For years, industries like grocery, fashion, and consumer electronics have benefited from Amazon's US-centered logistics system. Now, programs like Ship from Store and Amazon Go must be adapted to fit a more globally distributed framework. Retailers in countries hosting Amazon's new headquarters can expect deeper integration with the platform, while US-focused partners may need to form new alliances or develop independent logistics systems. This change could pave the way for regional e-commerce leaders to emerge and fill gaps left in the American market. On the financial side, Amazon's global operations will need a significant restructuring.